What's going on, YouTube? Andre here with the DM Network. Y'all, if you're new to the channel or if you have been watching the videos and you haven't subscribed, please do me a huge favor, hit the subscribe button, and also turn on notifications because I upload every single day, Monday through Sunday, or however you want to do your calendar, Sunday through Saturday. I upload 7 days a week, y'all. Subscribe to the channel. You won't be disappointed in Dragon Ball content. Now on with the video. So, guys, I got the Project Z in the background, but I want to talk about Xenoverse for a second. Today's video, if I must. Because I do see in the comment section people bringing up Xenoverse. All through talking about Project Z, people kind of been talking about Xenoverse and stuff like that. And Xenoverse is a fun game. Do not get me wrong. I was stoked when Xenoverse 1 came out. And I was upset at the same time because I was like, here we are with this next generation Dragon Ball game, and there's no destructible environments. There's no cutscene over the top ultimate attacks and stuff like that. But yet and still, the game was fun because we got to create a character. Xenoverse took what Ultimate Tenkaichi did with the create a character and build on it. The only downside to it was that turning Super Saiyan, your hair didn't change. I did think that was a bit lazy. But I get it, with all the different hairstyles in the game, they would essentially have to do one for each particular hairstyle. Whereas in Ultimate Tenkaichi, there were only like, there weren't different hairstyles. There were like, 3 or 4 different characters. And so basically they just only had to do them for 4. But the game was interesting. The game was fun. Now, they marketed the game one way, like with the story talking about how, you were going to be able to change time and things like that, but the game never lived up to that. Not even in Xenoverse 2. Fast forward to when Xenoverse 2 comes out, and the gameplay looks better, looks smoother, the colors are more vibrant, the graphics aren't that much different, but the colors definitely popped a lot more. And they added some little minuscule things that were big to me. Like, for instance, when you had Gogeta as Super Saiyan, or if you had Super Saiyan 3 Goku, the rocks, like when he was full power, the rocks would just be continually floating around him. Like that was a really cool addition. And also when you're charging your ki, you would have little rocks that come up out the ground and stuff. I thought that was really cool. And I really hope that they would have added destructible environments or maybe improved on the ultimate attacks as far as how they look, but they didn't. And I get why they didn't do that, especially with it being you might as well say a multiplayer based game. Now, where Xenoverse 2 fell short with me was the story. It was basically the same thing as Xenoverse 1, just with, kind of different enemies this time. I mean, essentially, it was the same thing, which I don't have a problem with that. I just kind of wish that we would have had more choices this time. So, because I could play the original story for Dragon Ball over and over again and not get tired of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that the story was the same. It's just that, they marketed it as us basically having a choice or us affecting history, and we're really not. We didn't have choices in the game to do that. That's the direction I would like for them to go in Xenoverse 3. As far as story, I would really like it if we had choices. We talked about that with this game right here, being able to possibly play, like, what if we could play as an evil character? Xenoverse 3, with the way that they've gone with the possession of you and stuff like that, I mean, the door is open for them to do basically whatever they want to do. And I think that it would be really cool to be able to choose to play on the side of good or evil. Not only that, but with it being a multiplayer game, you would essentially open up the entire globe to be a big battle of good versus evil. What kind of, or what side are you on kind of thing? That would be really, really cool. And I know it breaks away from Dragon Ball, but, it is what it is. Xenoverse in itself kind of breaks away from Dragon Ball. We've broken away from that timeline, and now they've opened this Pandora's box of endless possibilities kind of thing. I would really like to see that. Also, I would like to see destructible environments. I like the cutscene supers. Unfortunately, Xenoverse isn't that kind of game. It's not that kind of game It could be, but it's not. Why? Because like I said, the game is designed to be, it's not so much designed to be a 1v1 game. It's designed to be like a 3-on-3 or a 4-on-4 or something of that effect. There's designed to have multiple characters on the playing field at the same time. So it's not set up to have the cutscenes and stuff like that. It's essentially a Dragon Ball Battle Royale in a sense. But that's where I would like to see the story go. I would like them to actually give us choices that affects the game. That way, you're going to have multiple playthroughs. Now, they tried to do the multiple playthroughs in Xenoverse 2 by having a lot of different characters in the game. With your created character, you had to play the story over again. And that would have been cool if the story would have been different for each individual character. For instance, the Saiyan story is different than the Earthling story, and the Earthlings is different than the Namekian and the Artesian and stuff like that. But they didn't do that. It was pretty much the same story. The only difference would be the intro to the story would be different for each said character. So going forward, you know, if you gave us choices, that would allow us to play through the story more times than just one time and we're done. You see what I'm saying? The parallel quest thing, I like it. But the biggest improvement, and this, y'all, you know, as much as I want destructible virus, so like that, I'm not going to get it. Xenoverse isn't that kind of game. So to me, the largest improvement that Xenoverse needs to make is, no, it's not the netcode, because you already know I don't care to play online. I mean, I will, but I don't care to. Because people spam online, people cheat online. It's just a lot of the netcode issue. It's just the lag. And I've never just been an online type of guy. It doesn't mean I'm not good at it or anything like that. I just like the single player experience. So to me, the biggest thing that they can change, that they can fix, is the computer AI when you're playing by yourself in a parallel mission. The computer, they don't do anything. They get in the way. They don't damage the opponents. They don't fight the opponents. And there's little tricks that you can do. For instance, if you're locked on to somebody, the computer's not going to really mess with them. So they tell you to not lock on to them and the computer fight them. But they still don't do a good job. Now, Xenoverse 2, they did a better job than they did in Xenoverse 1 at that. However, it's still non-existent. It's almost as if you have extra people that only get in the way. When you're trying to do a combo on him, here they come wanting to fire key blasts and knock him away and mess up your combos and things like that. So, and I get what they were trying to do with that. They really would prefer you to do those parallel quests with human opponents. And when you do, there's a complete night and day difference. But people like myself who like playing single player should have that same luxury of having skilled opponents playing with you in the single player as we do playing online with other people, you know. So I wish that they would improve on that. And of course, for you multiplayer guys, the netcode, they really do need to improve on that. I would be more apt to play online if I'm more comfortable with the netcodes and the latency, the lag, all that kind of stuff. And it's tough to make that stuff right because it's really contingent upon the individual's connection speed and stuff like that. But there's ways that they can have it to where only good connections get connected with good connections in a sense. Things like that. But other than that, character roster, I mean, the character roster is already big. As far as the characters going forward for Xenoverse, I would rather them just have one set character and be able to have transformations for them. For instance, I don't want like 4 different versions of Goku. I would rather just have one version of Goku, and the same way that they allow us to customize our created character, I would like to be able to customize the normal characters as well. That way, you know, I can put whatever attacks on Goku I want, because when we're looking at Goku, he has so many different variations in the game that people really pick the variation that has the attacks that they like. I would like them to kind of back into more of a Rage and Blast kind of thing where you can actually go in and adjust or customize the attacks for each different transformation state that Goku has. So for instance, his base form, I could put the Kaioken attacks. His Super Saiyan, I have a different set of attacks. Super Saiyan 2, different set of attacks. Super Saiyan 3, different set of attacks. Super Saiyan God, different set. Super Saiyan Blue. You see what I'm saying? And Ultra Instinct all have different sets of attacks. Rage and Blast did that, and I loved it about Rage and Blast because what it essentially did was compacted all of those different characters into one character. And when you transform, that's where you get your different characters, different attacks and things like that. And it changes it up a lot, because when Goku and Vegeta transform, their attacks do change somewhat. They are open to different kinds of attacks and things like that. So it's really cool to be able to have that all on one character, as opposed to giving all of these different variations of the same character, you know, because who wouldn't want to transform into Super Saiyan Blue Goku, as opposed to, you know, having to pick him already transformed. And I thought whenever they put the Goku and Vegeta in their base forms with the Whis Signia Gi and Saiyan armor, I thought that we would have gotten the Super Saiyan Blue transformation, especially because the fact that our created character can transform into Super Saiyan Blue. Now, what I would have wished also with the created character is that what we would have been able to do is to transform through all the forms, and not just, oh, this is a Super Saiyan God transformation. It's separate from the Super Saiyan transformation. You get what I'm saying? What do y'all think? I know some of y'all aren't a fan of Xenoverse 3, but what could they do to Xenoverse 3 to make you a fan of that series? And best believe, y'all, there is going to be a Xenoverse 3. Xenoverse 1 sold well. Xenoverse 2 sold over 10 million copies. I guarantee you there's going to be a Xenoverse 3. So for those of you who don't like Xenoverse, what could they do to bring you over to the Xenoverse side? And for those of y'all who like it, same thing. What do you think that they could do better going forward? I appreciate y'all for tuning into today's video. Till next time, thanks for watching. Peace.